Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I'm an independent knitwear designer who also likes to make videos here on my YouTube channel, Watch Barbara Knit. If you would like to learn more about my patterns, please check in the description below where you will find a link to my Ravelry page, and if you click through you'll be able to browse all of the patterns that I have available that you could make yourself. You just got to get the digital PDF and knit it up. And I would love to hear about it if you're making one of my patterns. And actually, that brings me to the first thing I want to talk about. Today is a vlog day. I just thought mid-February I'd give a little chat. Also, I'm recording this on Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day if that's something you celebrate. So, sharing projects. I love chatting with you guys in the comments below, but there are limitations to YouTube chat. And on one of my last videos, a lovely knitter named Marilyn, and she's a spinner too. Let me make sure I have her name right. Yes, Marilyn mentioned that she bought Roller Coaster because she had some hand spun yarn she wanted to do. And I'm like, oh, I would love to see your yarn. There's really no way to share it. And so we chatted a little bit on the comments. You can go back and see it. And the idea came up about starting a Facebook group where we can share pictures and do more chatting. So you know what? Facebook groups are free, so I have created one called Watch Barbara Knit, and I will put the information and hopefully a link to it in the description below. And if you would like to come and chat with me about anything I've put on a video or just show me pictures and maybe projects you've made, I would love for you to come join. I don't expect it's going to be like a giant crazy group, so it's not going to fill up your Facebook feed, but it's another way to engage and interact, and I think that we should see if that could be a lot of fun. So please come. If you're a Facebook user, please come join there. Now I also have a Ravelry group that I would love to have you come if you're a Ravelry person, and I'll put a link to that, and it's Barbara Benson's Designs group. We're currently having a knit along in it for Earthbound Misfit and Bitter Blue, two lace, gradient, and beaded patterns that I have, and you're more than welcome to come join that knit along, and I'll put that link in the description below also. It's just going to be a link-a-palooza down there. But those are two different ways that if you want to continue this conversation, you can do so either in the new Facebook group or in my Barbara Benson Designs Ravelry group. So that was the first thing I want to talk to you all about. I also wanted to, you can see my gesturing, it keeps distracting me. So this was my Valentine's Day gift this morning from my 10-year-old son. It is definitely something a 10-year-old son would buy, and of course I love it. It's a cute little thing with this little tassel. We were at Michael's. I was buying my marking pen for my embroidery, and he got all secretive, and he and his dad, my husband, came back and said, you need to shop some more. And I saw them standing in line, so it was a whole big production. So he got this for me at Michael's, and I have to just, he's a cutie pie. Okay, what else can I talk to you about? Other things I got at Michael's. So this, I got this, and you're like, what is that? This is something I have been thinking about doing for a while, and I've actually acquired this. This is paracord. If you don't know what paracord is, the para stands for parachute. It's really, really high tensile strength, and one place you might have seen them is sometimes in like survivalist stores and like REI and places like that. You'll see this braided into a bracelet. And the idea is you wear this bracelet like all the time, and if you're in an emergency situation where you need a little bit of rope, you can just pull it off and undo it and use it for whatever rope you want. But I've always been like, so how much rope can possibly be in a bracelet? And I've contemplated the idea of, can I knit with paracord? We're gonna find out. It might take me a little while. One thing I did discover is it doesn't wind for beans. So trying to figure out how to knit with this is going to be fun. So watch this space. What else have I been working on? I have this, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to frog and start over because I am knitting this on 6s, and I came to the realization that I really needed to go down a needle size for the beginning and ending ribbing. So I'm probably going to frog it and go down to a 5 just to neaten things up. But this yarn, oh my goodness gracious, this yarn is a new yarn from Malabrigo. Have I mentioned it before? I might have, but hey, I balled it up and I'm knitting with it now, so it counts. It's called Dos Tierras, which means 2 lands, and it is 50% alpaca and 50% their amazing Uruguayan soft wool, so merino. So I am working on, it's going to be a cowl. That's all I'm going to tell you right now, but I'm very excited about it, and it is going to be hopefully the pattern for March is what I'm aiming for. I got to get it knit up and photographed and all those 9 yards. Now the pattern for February, I am still working on frantically and trying to get it done. I had a major setback and had to do a lot of frogging, but the sac, there is uno sock. So I have finished 1 sock. Here we go. It's got the afterthought heel now, so, and it hasn't been blocked, so it's kind of funny, but here we go. Let me stick my arm in it. You can see, oh, my thumb is making it look funny. It has the sandpiper stitch in it, and it's got a contrast heel toe, and then the cuff, and we have the baby part. So I've started the second one. I've finished the first one. We are on track. I've just got to get this done and get it to my tech editor and get it photographed. And my goal is to get this done by released in February. So if you've been watching the saga of the sock, this is where it is. I'm happy with it. I had to make some changes to it because I'm kind of a perfectionist. If you look here, you can see that in between the columns of the slip stitch pattern, there are 2 stitches worth of stockinette. But when I got up to here and the pattern wrapped all the way around, it pulled in more than I was comfortable with, and it was going to be too tight. So I had gotten to about here, and then I had to frog all the way back down to here and go in and add some stitches around. So this is actually more stitches around than this is, because this had the stockinette, which gave it more flexibility, and this was really pulling in. So I was like, nope, that's not gonna work, and I want it to be right for you guys. So there we go. Working on that. The sock is coming along. What else? So embroidery. I took it off the loom. I thought that I was going to enjoy doing smaller projects. I was wrong. I was like, there wasn't enough room for me. I mean, I like the way this looks, and I think I'm going to weave another piece and sew them together to cover up the yucky back. So I got this far on this, and I was like, and it's done. So bored. And I learned a lot. One thing I learned about trying to embroider on this really loose weave, and I'm pretty sure it's going to extrapolate to trying to embroider on knitting, is that you have to embroider very loosely and really control your tension much more so than when I'm doing it on like just woven fabric. So like commercial fabric, because this is still woven too. But I mean, I enjoyed what I did. I thought this was a herringbone, and then I did the running stitch, and I think it looks kind of cool. And I made these little chain stitches just to see what it did, but it's pretty much, no. So working a little small like this didn't make me happy. So I started a new hoop, hoopity hoop, hoop, hoop. My new hoop, I decided to go with a dark ground. This is, it's kind of a greeny teal color, and I decided that I was going to go with like golds and bronzes and browns as my color palette. And it's funny because I initially was doing like this. This is how it was oriented in my mind. I did this first, this little tail here, and then I did this big, let me see if I can, here, this big curve. Actually, I did it and sort of freehanded it, and I didn't like it. So then someone in my Ravelry group suggested that I get a marking pen, a white marking pen. So I did a new pulled everything out, put the new marking pen on, and so I got this nice curve. And then I did this. This is called the wheat ear stitch. Let me put it in the middle, which I think looks really cool. But then yesterday, when I was looking at it, all of a sudden it reoriented itself. And now, oh, no, that's upside down. For some reason, in my brain, it reoriented itself, and I ended up adding my big circle here. I don't know what's going to happen today, but this is the ongoing. I want to try, I started with this. Oh, and I added this button. So I put this button here and I was going to trace around it and do a circle here, but then I was holding the button there and I was like, the button looks really cool. And I mean, I could put a button on it if I want to, right? So I stitched the button on. So those were my stitches for the day, the button stitches. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I did this tail initially because I wanted to kind of break the just circles and lines that I was doing, but I really like making circles and lines. So I don't know. We'll see. If you want to watch this grow daily on Instagram and my Facebook, I post about this. So I talked about the nudos tiaras. I talked about my sock. I talked about all those things. Is there anything else on my planner I want to talk about? Oh, I have one more yarn. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. So I got this when I got the Malabrigo yarn. This is another new Malabrigo yarn. Look at that craziness. This is called Caracol. I'm not real sure about the pronunciation. And let's see here. It's 90 yards and 100, so it's like a super bulky. And it's the 100% pure their merino yarn, but it's got this cage. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It's really, really different. And the yarn itself it's got a very thick thin, so it's got this, and then it goes down to that almost immediately. So it's a very thick thin, it's super duper soft, and it's got all the crazy colors in it. I don't know. I got to figure out what to do with this. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts. I mean, my mind immediately goes to a cowl or a hat because it'd be difficult to do like a large amount of this, but it could make a cool scarf, but it's only 90 yards. I don't know. I think it's super cool. And if you guys want to see more of this particular guy, let me know what your thoughts on this super cool. And oh, I wish you guys could feel it. It's super soft. And I have 2 skeins. I could just put them on. Yes, it's the new look for Princess Leia. Very cool. So I've got this cool yarn that I got to figure out what to do. But whatever I do with it, it's going to be on Gigantor needles, so it'll knit up crazy fast. Once I figure it out, what size needles does it says? 13 to 19. That's a big old needle. So I just wanted to say hi to you guys mostly and just let you know what was going on. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, or you could come over and join the new Facebook group. And there you could show me pictures of stuff you're working on and just in general chat. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please give it a thumbs up, like it. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, please subscribe to my channel and select notifications. Thank you so much.